why do I work? You know what I mean? I feel like my faith gives me what I need to work in a way. Man, this is crazy. There's a lot of pressure when these things are on. I gotta think about this. Work to me can be a broken environment, and we spend so much time at our vocation that I want it to be a place that is fruitful, impactful, not only for myself, but for the people that I work with. So my faith is really important because I think it's what drives me when I go every single day to work, not to just show up as a place to, you know, earn income to provide for my family, but a place to create a environment of loving people, not only patients, but the people that I work with, caring for them because they all have their own stories that I would like to be a part of. And Christ allows me to do that because he has loved me, and I would like to be able to love others, and that's something that I'm not fabricating in and of myself. It's something that God has done in me. It's a change that he's enabled me to see as his work that I get to do. So I'm an optometrist in Gainesville at Quinn Eye Center, and what an optometrist now is someone who's a primary eye care physician. So we do glasses, contacts, and I also treat ocular disease. So I basically do everything but surgery when it comes to the eyeball. I previously managed a bank and was looking for another opportunity that could give me a better family life balance and have better opportunity to serve at church, and found that, or I should say remember, my grandfather was an optometrist. So I asked my dad and my aunt growing up, what was it like to have your dad with that job, even though they're tremendously different now, but it afforded them the opportunity to spend more time together. So I thought, hey, let's do this. So let's go back to school and in a totally different field. Faith has impacted the way I work in that it is the backbone to everything that I do at my job. So it's kind of it's the power behind it. And I would like to say it's the Holy Spirit in me working, not just to provide for my family, because that's one piece of it, but it goes much more, it's much more important because like God being a creative God and creating us to work, I get to work in a way that's also creative and fulfills that reality of how he's made me to be. Here is a concrete example. We have an employee that she's been with us a long time. She works really hard. She actually is part-time now because she got a job at UF in the field that she's actually in school for. But long story short, she's great, and she's been engaged for a while, and I was always, messing with her about, you really got to get that guy to propose, and me and her kind of talked a couple times about marriage, what it's like, what it is, how important it is to me, and how there are, similarities between the church and marriage. Surprisingly enough, we had to talk about some of those things. And her fiance proposed, and I'm really excited. On December 23rd, we're going to be going to their wedding, and she one time was at our house, and we had sampled some beers together and some wine, and she was getting all into it because she had not tried very many beers. And for her wedding present, I wanted to brew beer and kind of do something creative for her and love her in that way and provide for her. And they're, pinching pennies at this point. So I was like, look, I want to cover the beer. So called John Edmonds and Schaefer at Creekside, and was really just had a great time doing that for her. And they don't even know what kind we made. They're just like, this is amazing. They're going to take care of that for us. So, I like the fact that it's not just me. It's my family. Yes, paying a little bit for it, but John and Schaefer even being a part of it, and just that we can care for them in that way. I think we feel like we have to manufacture spiritual experiences at work with coworkers. And so I've done that for a long time, thinking, hey, how can I bring up Jesus during work? How can I talk about spiritual things? How can I, what's the best way and to create that type of conversation? So I think there's a lot of fear with us having the responsibility that we need to come up with that occurrence. And I think that's a fear I've had for a long time, and I'm learning more and more recently that obviously no evangelism saves people. Christ saves people, and the Holy Spirit working through us is what saves people. So in one sense, just surrendering to God's power in that, even if before I didn't know that I was trying to take the reins on that. But now, being encouraged that, God is at work, and if I'm real with my employees and patients, that they will see a change in me, and because of a changed behavior, and just that I'm different in certain opportunities, whether it's a stressful situation, or you got to deliver bad news, or a patient's spouse dies and they come in and they're having a hard day, and the fact that I can just be real with them and say, hey, can I spend some time with you? Can I pray for you? Just being more the way I normally am, not just trying to create awkward situations, spiritual situations, I guess. I think he's glorified in just working. I think the world tells us we need to, be super successful, and I need to see 10 more patients than the next person. I think God is pleased with me working hard at what he's called me to do in the simplest of things. I think, working with technicians and, asking them how their day is going, and being beyond just the work thing. I think obviously caring for people is very important, but I think it's just working. I think it's just, doing what God's called us to do. We got to shoot some B stock. What do you call it?
Yeah.
B-roll.
B-roll.
Boom.